Hi guys, it's extremewirehead, and here's a little retrospective on my take so far with Assassin's Creed. Specifically, of course, with the latest one that I finished, which is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I know, I'm 3 games behind now, and that's not really important to me too much because I don't think the story is actually that interesting. It is quite the Da Vinci clone with a lot more action because it involves a bunch of assassins and a bunch of power hungry Templars who think that they are descendant of aliens, I think. But Assassin's Creed as a whole rubs me in a lot of right ways. I think that, sorry about the traffic, I think that the stealth is quite fun. There's a lot of toys to play with, there's a lot of things to learn. It just feels a bit off. And I'm not exactly sure why I think it feels a bit off, but maybe it's just got something to do with the style. It never really evolves outside of the key, which is follow the guy, find out what he's after, figure out some information, then kill him. And that's right about it. It's a pretty simple plan. It deviates from it very little, and when it does deviate, it just turns into a TV mashup or a movie mashup of action scenes, which sometimes, every now and again, of course, could probably be nice, but I don't think it really works for this series too well. It does mean, of course, that when somebody dies, then you have to start from scratch with another character, which makes it rather difficult to keep liking the show, the game basically. I will say though, a lot of people did mention this to me before I started playing, that Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is the pinnacle of the series and you might as well stop there because it goes downhill. And that may be true, and I probably will still continue. It is quite fun. I really liked Brotherhood. It did a lot of things right, and a couple of things that I think were maybe a bit problematic. I found that it was a bit too easy. Maybe they could have made it a bit harder. I felt like I had too much health for an assassin. That's one thing. Even with all that armor, I shouldn't be able to outlast all those guards because that's just crazy. The execution technique does make ending fights much faster and less of a pain, but it does cheapen the fact that all you have to do is get one execution off to get an execution chain, and that maybe makes combat against large numbers of enemies sound too easy. Or maybe it's just me nitpicking here, how you spend way too much time fighting a large pack of enemies, but then realistically speaking, I think that makes sense. So that's the combat down. I One other thing about the combat and the stealth that I dearly hope is alleviated in the next few games is the fact that for some reason Ezio is carrying the equivalent of a battalion's worth of ammo and equipment. I've got my small weapon, my medium weapon, my heavy weapon, at least 20 rounds for my hidden gun, and another, what is it, 30 crossbow bolts, poison vials, smoke bombs. He's a veritable fortress by himself, and that's it might sound cool in theory, but in practice, you were never going to find a situation that's going to use up all of your possible resources. Not to mention the fact that Brotherhood is about you starting up the Brotherhood again and adding people over to the team, and that means that they are basically disciples that can fight for you. Including all of that, you have way too much power to overpower any normal force on the game, which is quite sad. It made the game feel a bit too simple. I didn't even need to get the best equipment. I still beat the game quite easily, and that's kind of sad. That isn't to say it wasn't fun. It's just it felt easy. It didn't feel realistic anymore. You Of course, the Assassin's Creed is all about it's a power trip. You feel like some badass who goes around saving the world, but I would have liked it if maybe you could carry only one smoke bomb on you. How if you were carrying too much ammo, you should be a bit slower. Maybe a little bit of realistic stuff if you could. That aside, of course, it's still a fun game. I still recommend Brotherhood. Of course, It's what, 3 years out now. If you haven't played it, then you're crazy. I'm the only person who has way too many different things happening at the same time that I can say for of course for certain that it's gonna take me a while to get to it. Anyway, I think the next thing on my list is Darksiders 2. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, but I'll see if it's any good. Anyway, just wanted to talk about Brotherhood because it was fun. It was a fun game, maybe a bit easy, but it was fun. Story doesn't make sense, and the spoiler, if somebody dies, which is a spoiler for right about any plot nowadays, it just means that things are gonna get even weirder in the next game, and I already saw the start of the next game. Damn. Anyway, that's Brotherhood for you. If I had to give a grade, if I had to give a score, I would have given it a 7. Maybe it could have gotten an 8 or a 9, if only because it is so much better than the rest of the Assassin's Creed so far. But in terms of actual gameplay, maybe it's just too easy. I felt like I wasn't challenged enough, or maybe I don't know. That's just a feeling. Oh, well, I'm rambling at this point. But anyway, I'll see you next time for another ITO. This is Extreme Wirehead signing out.